Hi everyone, I'm Jim Rizoli and this is the weekly show. Hi everyone. Well, it's been one crazy week in regards to news in Framingham, and of course we have two big articles that we're going to talk to you about tonight. First thing we're going to talk to you about is the Pam Richardson situation, what happened there, and then we're going to get into the Father Pranzo court case, because when I talked to you last week, the court case didn't happen when we did the show, so I have to continue on this week. But we got a lot to talk to you about that case, and you're going to find that very interesting also, like everything that we have to talk to you about. Well, anyway, let's talk about the Pam Richardson case dealing with the illegal aliens. Now, as you all remember, last week we showed the video, the exact video that was taken of Pam Richardson at the committee, the platform committee for the Democratic Party. What they were all doing basically is getting together, offering their viewpoints, some of the things they want to show on the platform, or talk about on the platform, I guess at the next election time. So we basically played the whole video, which was about, what, 6 minutes or 7 minutes of it. And boy, did that cause an uproar. Okay, it caused an uproar because Norma Shulman is the one that recorded that video. All right, she recorded that. What we did is we saw it on TV and we took it off the TV, and we figured that all you people out there in TV land would surely like to see this one. All right, so we wanted to let you know where Pam Richardson stood on the subject of illegal aliens. Well, Norma Shulman was not a happy camper. Okay, she was not a happy camper. We took the video, we got it up on the internet. You know, it's pretty much made its way. It was on the radio. It was famous. I mean, Pam Richardson became famous because of that video. I don't know how many radio stations took pot shots at her. I mean, it was really something. So the fact that Norma provided the video, she felt that video was her property. And she felt that we took it, it was a violation of the copyright of that video. Now remember, we were just providing it to show people what was going on, like just like there it is playing in the background to show you, you know, what the video was about there. Now, so she got all upset about, and you know, I had it on my website, and what did she do? She called up emailed the people that control the website and said, you have a copyrighted video on that website in Jim Rizzoli's weekly show number 59. And of course, they took it off. Okay, they took it off. But you know, we do have what they call fair use. What fair use is that you can use someone else's video as long as you don't play the whole thing of it. Okay, now remember, Norma's video was that whole meeting, was an hour long or whatever, how long it was. We only played 6 minutes of that video, and she's all up in an uproar now because of that. We don't think Norma is really she's not behaving rationally here. That's all I can say. Okay, I mean, this is a state rep. You people out there have a perfect right to know what the state rep is doing. But see, what Norma didn't really understand was when she did that video, that normal people like ourselves who aren't brain dead, okay, would see that video and have a reaction to it. She didn't expect the reaction. So Norma, seeing that reaction was very negative, she wants to take that video off the air, get it out of people's minds. She doesn't want anybody to see that video. So she's playing this copyright bullcrap against me to deal with this. And I just think that it's a real low blow for Norma Shulman to do something like that. And you folks out there that know Norma, you really should be incensed because of her doing this. So anyway, I'm just letting you know what happened there, because she caused such a furor here. You know, again, this was a very special show dealing with our state rep, and we think people should know what's going on. And again, I critiqued the whole video after, again, using the fair use there of it, showing that I didn't agree with what was being said. So I kind of more or less rebutted a lot of the things she said. Well, anyway, that was that. You know, Norma Shulman, you know, we really think that she's not a reputable person for doing this. I don't know how she can live with herself. She's the videographer for the Democratic Party. She does a lot of their videos. And, you know, she does a good job with her videos. Let me tell you, I appreciate what Norma has done. But for her to pull this copyright crap on us, I just can't believe she would do something like this. She can use my video anytime she wants, okay? Like this one I'm doing right now, Norma, you could use it, put it on your website. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. Understand? I have nothing to hide. But for her to do what she's doing, she must have something to hide. Well, obviously, you know, what she wanted to hide from you folks out there is the truth about Pam Richardson in the Democratic platform, the Democratic Party's viewpoint on illegal immigrants. And by the response that I'm getting, I am getting a lot of people who are calling me up. They are just infuriated by what happened here. So anyway, so we have our own video, okay? We had a video that we took when we were at the courthouse. Now let me explain what happened here. This is interesting. Pam Richardson showed up at the courthouse when we were taking the Father Pranzo to court. She showed up there to give support of Father Pranzo. Now you have to understand something about here, what happened here. We were taking Father Pranzo to court for an assault, but let's just put the assault charge aside. Father Pranzo was trying to stop my brother from videotaping a meeting. Do you understand how serious that was? He was trying to stop us from our free speech, for free press, of videotaping a meeting. Forget the assault. The fact that he even tried to stop us is something that is unconscionable for a priest to do something like this. All right? So now Pam Richardson is showing up at this gathering, and you're going to see the gathering, of these supporters of Father Pranzo. So she's actually supporting Father Pranzo in his attempt to stifle our free speech. I mean, Pam, do you understand this? Now, I'm going to show you the difference between Pam and Tom Santacandro. Now, my brother got in touch with Tom Santacandro. He wanted to talk to him about the event that happened the last time we went to court. And he explained to Tom, you know, you showing up at that court case wasn't a good thing because, again, the fact that you're backing him up on this situation here is not good because he tried to stop us from videotaping. But you know what? Tom said, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Well, guess what? Tom didn't show up at this meeting in defense of Father Pranzo. He didn't show up because he wasn't that stupid to show up when he already knew what was going on there. The fact that all these people there were basically supporting him in his right to stop us from videotaping, which isn't a right, but it was, you know, illegal what he did. But yet Pam Richardson showed up. But here's the thing. We tried to get in touch with Pam Richardson. We said, Pam, we would like to meet with you because, again, we wanted to warn her about showing up at this meeting because we thought that if she knew the truth about what Father Pranzo did, she wouldn't show up either, okay? She didn't get back to us soon enough, okay? That's all I can tell you. We warned her. She didn't show up. She ends up going to that meeting actually defending Father Pranzo, defending him who violated our rights of free speech to videotape a meeting. So, you know, when I think about what Pam Richardson did there, and then the fact that we put the video on and all this and that, I really don't feel sorry for her because she really deserved what she got here because she just didn't think about the repercussions of backing up a priest, a wayward priest, who would be doing something that would be wrong. All right? So anyway, we're going to play you the video. She was recorded by Billy. Billy recorded her here. And I thought he did a very good job. And she's going to just tell you, basically, what her views are on that whole illegal immigration situation that she was caught in on Norma Shulman's video. Okay? So we're going to play this video here, and I'll talk a little bit about it as we come back.
Program.
Yes,
Are you familiar?
I don't know who Michael Graham is.
He's on 96.9. It's on the radio. They just had a big thing about, you know, something that you just did recently. Actually, you're on the website too as well.
Oh, that's
michaelgraham.com. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know if you knew of that.
No, I didn't know
you
that.
Didn't? Yeah. They just had something. It was actually yesterday. It was around 9-10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
I just wanted
on the
to.
Television?
It was on the radio. And then after that, there was another program. I forget who it was run by. They had a program on that as well. I was just curious to get your thoughts on, about the situation going in here. How did you feel about people running for state rep that are undocumented? I mean, would that be okay too?
Well,
I mean, if it's okay to give them, driver's licenses, and it's okay to give them, in-state tuition and what have you, and if they pass a law, well, then they pass a law. But how would you feel if somebody was running against you that just came into this country?
I think that you're confusing some of the statements that I made, and I believe you're probably referencing some comments that I made at a Democratic State Committee platform.
That was brought up at Michael Graham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know who Michael Graham is. I'm not familiar with that gentleman.
Okay. And that's fine.
But I feel that we have a large population of immigrants who live within Framingham's borders.
Yeah.
And they do not have an opportunity to have a say in government here. And one of the frustrations that I think people have is that they would like all residents of the community to feel ownership of the community and to feel that they are part of the community, and yet such a large portion of our community is not able to get involved at that level. There are several towns in Massachusetts who have passed home rule petitions to allow undocumented residents to vote in local elections.
What towns or cities?
Cambridge.
Cambridge, okay.
Northampton.
That's out there.
I believe Everett looked at the issue, and Chelsea.
Does Chelsea? Because I think Chelsea has more of a Hispanic community than Brazilian.
Well, Hispanic immigrants are sometimes undocumented as well.
Right.
And so if that's the population that they have there, then that's interesting.
Right.
Those particular communities decided that they wanted to allow undocumented immigrants in their communities to vote in a local election. And the state will not, according to state law, allow that to happen.
Right.
So my suggestion was that if a community decides, and I really hope you don't cut this piece out.
No, go right ahead.
If a community decides that they would like to allow undocumented immigrants to vote in a local election, then we should allow that to happen.
Are you in favor of that?
Well, I think it would be a good discussion to have in Framingham.
But I'm asking you personally, you are in favor?
I think that if we were able to put together a criteria, for example, proof that the individual was a resident and had been a resident for a period of time, at least perhaps 5 years.
But wouldn't that be discriminating? What if somebody was only here 3 or 4 years?
I think that the point would be that individuals who are vested in the community, who care about the community, and who want to participate in the process in the community, we should talk about potentially giving them the opportunity to do that. I would really love to continue talking with you.
Sure.
But I have to go to the State House because I have some important work to do there this morning. Now, can you tell me what your name is?
Well, I'm sure that will all get unraveled at some...
You can say your name.
Okay, well, I think it's interesting that you don't want to give me your name.
Really what it comes down... Well, I mean, what I find interesting, you're a pastor?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a sin to lie? I mean, is that on the 10 Commandments?
Okay. I think
I think
we're done.
I have to go.
Okay.
It was really nice to see you, Janet. Okay.
Pam, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, there you have it there, all right? Very interesting. Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick break, all right? Quick commercial break here with the American Legion video. And I'm going to come back, all right? We're all going to come back, and I'm going to discuss some of the points that she brought out here, okay? So we're going to take a quick break, be back in probably a minute or so, and we're going to continue on the Pam Richardson discussion here about illegal aliens.
The National Americanism Commission of the American Legion has a lot to say in its recent study about illegal immigration. It says, in part, that lax enforcement of immigration laws has invited the criminal element into our society, that alien gangs operate in most, if not all, U.S. cities. Human and drug smuggling operations are numerous along our southern border and throughout the country. Our prisons are crowded because of illegals convicted of committing crimes against the people of the United States. They are being incarcerated at a U.S. taxpayer cost of approximately $13 billion annually, says the report.
For a free booklet on a strategy to address illegal immigration, go to www.legion.org/bulletins, a public service of this station and the American Legion.
Because you have a right to know.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of this interview here that Billy had with Pam Richardson. A couple questions I wrote down here that I'm going to talk about. First of all, she didn't even know who Michael Graham was, so obviously she doesn't listen to the radio when she's driving to work in her car. Most people know who Michael Graham is. He's on WTTK 96.9. He's a conservative radio talk show host, but he really, when he saw this video, he just couldn't contain himself. Okay, so he went off for days and days on this one. Now, Billy, he got her on a good question here. I just want to bring out right in the beginning. He said, "Well, Pam, you want to give the illegal aliens a right to vote." And he said, "Well, what happens if they, ran for state rep? How would you feel about that?" That was just kind of a good question. It's a real thought-provoking question, because when you think about it, she already established there was 10 to 30,000 illegal aliens, okay, in Framingham alone. All right, now remember, we have 67,000 people in Framingham. Half of those are registered voters, and you don't even get half of those registered voters out to vote. If you got 15 to 20,000 voters out to vote, that would be America. We usually get about, at the most, 10,000, all right? The last election for the selectmen's race and all that, we only got about 1,000. Just think if you made, even on a low side, if you got 10,000 of these illegal aliens to vote, they could vote everybody out of office and put their own people in. Now, wouldn't that be exciting? Huh? That would be really exciting. So you can imagine, even though, she's thinking in her mind, yeah, well, it'd be nice for them to vote, but I think she's really thinking, oh boy, if we let them vote, they're going to take my job. So that wasn't a good position to put her in, but that's the position she puts herself in when she wants to allow illegal aliens to vote. Okay, and the reason why is she feels that the illegals are not represented. These people want ownership in this town. Well, remember, Pam, these people are illegal. Why should they have ownership anywhere? They just are living here. All right, if I went down to Brazil, I couldn't vote in Brazil. All right, I don't have any ownership in Brazil, right? But yet she wants them to have some sort of ownership here. Then she brings out the fact that there are several towns that allow these people to vote in the local election type of things, okay? And, not many of them do that. But again, not a good situation, particularly knowing that they can outvote everybody in the town. She thinks the community should decide on who is allowed to vote. Well, if that was the case, our show wouldn't be on TV, because you'd get all the liberal Democrats to vote it off the TV, right? I mean, this is really a crazy situation there, isn't it? And then she said there should be some discussion on all this. Well, Pam, I don't know, if you know this, but, since 2003, we've been trying to get a discussion about illegal aliens in Framingham, okay? There has been no discussion from you or getting us together. Nobody has done anything to get this discussion on board. So, I mean, they can talk until the cows come home, but nobody is doing anything. So maybe the fact that everybody went crazy here when they heard Pam Richardson's view at that Democratic Caucus committee meeting, you know, now they know where she stands on these issues. See, and maybe she will have some sort of discussion. And Pam, you know, we want you to get our input. We don't want you to get the input of the illegal aliens, the bleeding hot illegal aliens that are complaining, you know, all these things are going bad against them. You know, they're getting stopped because they're driving without a license, and they're getting stopped, you know, they don't have insurance, and, you know, all these things for them, you know. We want to tell you the hardships of the American citizen who are having problems because of the illegal aliens. That's what we want to do. Okay, so anyway, at the end of the video, we're going to show you something here. Maybe, Joe, do you have it queued up? Which one? At the end of Billy now confronts Reverend Cook, which was interesting, because now Billy asked Reverend Cook a question. He asked him about lying. Okay, he goes, "Is it okay for someone to lie?" Can you you can play that, Joe?
Well, I'm trying to get to this spot.
Okay. Well, anyway. You all saw it anyway, but Pastor Peter Cook at the Plymouth Church there, when confronted with that question, what did he do? Oh, he was just befuddled. And what did he do? He walked away. I have no sympathy for Mr. Cook, okay? He's a minister, and I really think he's a charlatan. I call him Reverend Peter Crook because he is. I spoke to...
Well, I got him in...
Well, that's okay. Peter Cook, I called him up, you know, some weeks ago, and I talked to him about the Father Pranzo case, and I asked him, would he like to see the video, okay, of what happened. There he is. Okay, there's Mr. Oh, here is when he actually gave a prayer there, praying on behalf of Father Pranzo. Now understand this. Father Pranzo there was being taken to court for an assault, but the biggest reason why we're dealing with him is because he tried to prevent my brother from videotaping. And I guess Reverend Cook the Crook, he thinks that it's okay for a minister to try to impede someone's videotaping. That's a good thing. All right, all those people, the bleeding heart liberals there. Now look at that picture there. You got Pam Richardson. The guy with the white coat is Michael Jacoby Brown, another whack job liberal. Okay, then you got the Micah representative here, who we're going to talk about later, and then you got Reverend Peter Cook the Crook. Okay, all these people all in cahoots, and why are they there?
Defending a liar.
Defending a liar. Father Pranzo is a liar. He got off in man's court, okay? He did. He got off on man's court. But he is not going to get off in God's court when the judgment day comes against him because of his lying deeds, okay? Anybody, you know, O.J. Simpson got off in court too. You know what I'm saying? But O.J. Simpson, you know, I think a lot of people know there was something wrong with O.J. Simpson and what happened in that case. So, again, you know, this video here was a great video showing all these people, all the liberal people defending Father Pranzo. And again, our state rep there, Pam Richardson, which, you know, I just don't understand why she would want to be there defending a liar. Doesn't make sense to me, but there she is right there, you know. Unbelievable, isn't it, folks, to see what our politicians can be involved in. But that's okay. You know why? Because, you know, sometime back, I mean, if you go to my website, CCFIILE.com, you're going to see on the first page of that website, I have a picture of the Padaria Brazil Bakery. And in front of that bakery, you're going to see all these people with signs. Well, the reason why they're there, they're protesting us, okay? And a lot of the politicians of the town, okay, were there defending the illegal aliens who hang out in front of the Padaria Brazil Bakery. Now remember, they're there working illegally in this country, and yet those politicians were there defending lawbreakers. Can you imagine that? Unbelievable. Go to my website, you'll see that picture in front of the Padaria Brazil Bakery. and definitely crime pays in Framingham anyway, because a lot of people are hiring these illegals. All right, let's take another quick break here. We're going to go to another excerpt there from the American Legion. Again, their viewpoint of illegal immigration.
The National Americanism Commission of the American Legion has a lot to say in its recent study about illegal immigration. It says in part that more Americans are killed by illegal aliens than die in the Iraq War. In 2005, says the report, Congressman Sylvester Reyes of Texas said in a news release that more than 75,000 immigrants from countries other than Mexico have illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexico border, with approximately 36,500 crossing in the Border Patrol's Rio Grande sector, a 226% increase from the same period in 2004.
For a free booklet on a strategy to address illegal immigration, go to www.legion.org/bulletins. A public service of this station and the American Legion.
Because you have a right to know.
All right, folks, welcome back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to discuss some of the repercussions, from those videos that happened last week, particularly the one with Pam at the Democratic Committee meeting there. So now, remember, Pam wants to have illegals vote. Well, when she saw all the hoopla and how everybody was against it with the articles in the paper, we'll show you some more of those articles too. Start with this one. Rep alters stance on voting idea. You think? I mean, give me a break, will you? Of course she's gonna alter her stance. All her constituents were against her. As far as I understand, a state rep is supposed to represent the people. Just because she wanted to give the voting rights to illegal aliens didn't mean that all her people out there, her constituents, wanted to. And they went crazy on her. I mean, the emails, the online, if you get on the Metro West Daily Snooze site, and you can see all the comments. Everybody was against this woman here, Pam Richardson, and her viewpoint. So she was just put out of commission because these people said, nope, we don't want it. It shouldn't happen. Well, let's go to a couple other articles here. There was another point here, let illegal immigrants get a license. Now, again, this was part of the platform that Pam Richardson was bringing up to that committee, Democratic committee. And, she was really thinking that this thing was going to fly. And, of course, Tom Santacandro got so much flack against this one that it was incredible, too. And, what happened with him eventually is he ended up actually pulling the bill from the bill that was offered there. Can you imagine? I've never ever seen this happen. So it just shows you people who watch this show, if you make a stink about something, and you're not happy with something, you can actually get these state reps to turn around on their viewpoints. And this was great because it showed how the people responded to what happened here, and he pulled it. That, the illegals, that's kind of like dead in the water now. But, just thinking about his stand on that license thing, his reason for giving the illegals licenses was for public safety. I mean, that's why he wanted to do that. And I can understand, you want the public to be safe. And I got the article here. And he says here, the public safety purpose of the bill was to allow the Registry of Motor Vehicles to do its job in ensuring the safety of the people of the Commonwealth by making sure that the people who drive here know the rules of the road and have passed a vision test and have been tested both by written exam and by a driving test and make sure they can operate a motor vehicle safely. It's the job of the Registry of the Motor Vehicles is to ensure that all drivers in the Commonwealth are licensed and tested. The registry was never intended as an immigration enforcement agency. Well, think about this, all right? It's a safety issue, huh? But how many years have they been driving unsafely on the roads, killing people? I don't know if you know this, but 12 people a day die at the hands of illegal aliens driving. Well, these are the ones Tom Santacandro wanted to give licenses to. Can you imagine? Now think about it also. He talks about them passing a written exam and, well, let's think about writing. I mean, in order to write, you're going to have to speak the language. So that means they'd have to learn English. And I talked about this on last week's show. I mean, can you imagine? It's not that simple giving illegal alien licenses, because the first thing that they would have to do is speak English, and you'd have to teach them English. Who's going to pay for that, Tom? Please, explain that to me. Who is going to pay to teach these illegal aliens English? Now they're going to learn English, and they're going to have to know how to write. Okay, that's a whole nother story. What are we going to put them in school for a year to learn all this just to get a license? And then they get the license and they're good to go. Okay, yeah, great. This is how it works. It's not that simple, okay? If they're here driving without a license, they shouldn't be driving at all. When they're stopped, they should be immediately handcuffed, thrown in jail, and deported. Simple as that. If you were caught driving without a license, you would be jailed. That's how it works. Your car would be towed, you would be handcuffed, you would be jailed, and that's the end of that. Illegal aliens, doesn't happen to them that way. What happens with them is they get a slap on the wrist, they're told to appear in court, and if they do show up, they get a $300 fine. That's it. That's all that happens to them. Unbelievable. And you want to reward these people, okay? These people, these illegal aliens, you want to reward them with a privilege of driving with a license. Remember what I said last week too? That not only does this license enable these people mobility anywhere in this country, but it gives them one thing that you people, most of the people out there don't even think about: credit. Once they get a license, they can get credit. And what they do is they get 50 credit cards, and now they're able to charge those charge cards to the hilt, okay? Then they go belly up. They take all the things they bought with these credit cards, send it home to Brazil. They get the packages, they get the big containers, they send all the video equipment, computers, cameras, everything goes home to Brazil, okay? The credit card is maxed out, say it's $5,000, $10,000, boom, they never pay it back. They have all the goods. And this is how they do it. That's why illegals want licenses. They don't care about having them for driving. They don't need them to drive. They will drive without them because nothing happens to them anyway. Don't you people understand this, how it works? They want licenses for credit because they use the license for identification purposes to get credit cards. Please understand that. Unbelievable. So anyway, at the end of Tom's article in the paper when he wrote it, he says, public discourse and debate on these important issues are imperative to all for our future success and safety. Can you imagine? But where was he 3 or 4 or 5 years ago? Huh? He let this go by all these years. The only reason why he jumped in on the bandwagon now was because he was caught with his pants down, as the saying goes. All right, he was caught. People caught him trying to get away with something that shouldn't happen, and Tom now was taken to task because the fact is people don't want illegal aliens to have licenses. It is simple as that. Why don't people see this? So anyway, it was shot down, and I'm glad it was, okay? All right, now, another article here. Pam Richardson, again, that was in the paper. Let non-citizens vote. Again, we saw the other article there too, that she took the repercussions of that one and she changed her view on that one pretty quick. Now she's going to have to listen to the American people. All right, what's the next the clip you have there coming up?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I had a bunch of there's a lot of people that wrote in. Here they are. That's good. A lot of people wrote into the Metro West News in the speakouts, and I mean, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in a row, okay, that the people were saying, clamp down on illegals, you know, and they were talking about this whole situation, about this guy. Yeah, this is JC in Marlboro. She was speaking about the guy, the Brazilian who was here for 6 years, made a ton of money, you know, went back home. And then, you know, she gets into the license thing and all that too. It says, these people don't want to be citizens. They just want to rob us, go back to their countries, and live comfortably for the rest of their lives. And she is exactly true and right on this. That's all they want to do. They don't care about staying here. You know, and even Pam, remember in the beginning of the video that we had at the courthouse, you know, she talked about, you know, giving them, you know, giving them the right to vote after so many years. They don't even stay here more than 3 or 4 years. That guy that stayed here 6 years, that was kind of unusual. Usually they want to get out of here within 2 or 3 years because they can save enough money up to do that. All right. Notice. Well,
this one here?
Oh,
These are some of the articles.
well, okay. Can you get back to some of the other articles there on the speakouts?
Something about daycare.
Well, okay. Let's forget about that. Let's. Well, anyway, I have a whole thing of articles here that were written on the issues. The issues here that they were speaking about, all their you know, how they didn't agree with Pam Richardson and the illegal things. There was 3 or 4 of those there in the paper. I don't have them as clips right now, but anyway, you believe me, most of the people there have been writing in, and they're livid in regards to Pam Richardson's viewpoint towards the illegals, voting, licenses, you know, the whole 9 yards. Okay, what else do we have? Any other articles there that? Okay, we're going to take another quick break here, another minute break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk. This video is going to show you more about the illegal aliens, the American Legion, and what their viewpoint is. Let's take a look at that video.
The National Americanism Commission of the American Legion has a lot to say in its recent study about illegal immigration. It says in part that the number of illegal aliens in the United States is a national security issue in the truest sense. That the number of illegal aliens may range from 11 to 20 million. Illegal immigration, it says, is not a victimless crime, costing American taxpayers $11 to $22 billion annually, and has become one of the nation's largest unfunded federal mandates.
For a free booklet on a strategy to address illegal immigration, go to www.legion.org/bulletins. A public service of this station and the American Legion.
Because you have a right to know.
Hi everyone, welcome back again. Okay, now for the second half of our show tonight, we're going to talk about the other big topic, and this is the Pranzo court case that we concluded with last week. Boy, this was an incredible case. I mean, we're going to go through some things here. They're going to really open your eyes up to the court system. But let's just understand something about why we were taking Father Pranzo to court. We were taking him to court, it's called probable cause, which means that we wanted to at least present to the court a case saying we had a case. That's all it is, okay? Now, we're going to get into a little bit more as we go on here. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to interview the lawyer, David Grossack, who was the lawyer for us in this case. He's going to get into some of these things, discuss some of these things with us, and then I'll talk about them to myself. So let's go to a short video that we took here with the lawyer that represented us, David Grossack, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and a little bit about what probable cause is. Let's go to that video right now. Hi everyone, Jim Rizoli here on the road. Well, today we have a special feature of our show. We have David Grossack, who is a lawyer who actually represented us in court when we went against Father Pranzo, and maybe we're going to ask a couple questions to him today about himself, and then we're going to talk about the case. So David, maybe you can tell us how long you've been a lawyer and some background about you.
I've been a lawyer for 26 years. I have an office in Newton. I live in Hull. I work on general litigation cases, civil cases mostly, a lot of divorce, a lot of business disputes and debt collection. I also try to do a couple of constitutionally oriented cases every year.
Okay, very good. Well, let's talk about this Father Pranzo case. We called you, we asked you to come in on it, and we appreciate that you did. We had a problem with this case because we thought we had a probable cause of him attacking my brother Joe. What were your feelings about all this?
I agree. You did have a probable cause. As you know now that the law in Massachusetts allows what's called a civilian complaint to be filed by any individual, whether a lawyer or not, whether a policeman or not, at the local clerk magistrate's office if they believe that a crime has been committed. The clerk magistrate is then required to hold what's called a probable cause or show cause hearing to see if probable cause actually existed. And all you need to establish probable cause is a reasonable basis to show that a crime has happened and that the defendant is likely to be responsible for it, and there are enough facts, not necessarily uncontested facts, but just enough facts to show that you have a reasonable basis for the belief, and that's enough, and then the complaint should issue, and the defendant should be arraigned. That didn't happen at the clerk magistrate's hearing in your case, and you were entitled to have what's called a de novo, or a new hearing, in front of a judge, and you did, and we brought the evidence in front of the judge, and the judge still refused to issue the complaint.
Now, we had 3 witnesses that testified the fact that Joe Rizoli was attacked. They had 2 witnesses that basically said it didn't happen. Now, when you think about that, how does that sound right there?
Well, even if your evidence was contested, that doesn't mean there wasn't probable cause, because all the judge had to do was determine that there was enough of a reasonable basis that something might have happened, and that was enough for him to. That would have been enough for him to issue the complaint. I disagree with the judge's decision. The judge was very polite, was very attentive, treated us all with dignity and respect. But in the end, I think he made an error.
So what do you think? I mean, right now we can't really. There's nothing we can do right now about this case because I guess it's done with, right? There's no appeals or anything else we can do.
I don't think there is any more you can do. I did research this, and at this point in time, I think you've exhausted your avenues.
Why do you think? I mean, personally, why do you think he kind of just said there was no probable cause? I mean, do you have any gut feeling about this?
When I give these kinds of opinions, I usually end up getting in trouble.
Yeah, but these are the ones you like.
Yeah, well, it's not easy. I mean, we don't really know what he was thinking. He might have. I mean, it could have centered around 2 things. It was either, the credibility of the testimony. He might not have really been on the same page as us, or then again, the judges are human beings, and sometimes community considerations do affect them.
Well, I know some people said that the fact that he was a priest and the judge probably didn't want to cause more controversy in the town because of this. So that's what some people were saying to me.
Well, it's not impossible. We'll never really know for sure because he's not required to give any kind of written explanation for what he did. We can only guess.
Right. Well, he didn't give any explanation on the slip we got in the paper. Oh, what bothered me about this too was the fact that we were notified about this not by the court, but by the Metro West News, who the reporter told me that the case was thrown out.
I've had that happen myself before, learning about cases from a news reporter. You're not the first one that's happened to.
Well, it's just not a nice way of knowing that you lost the case when someone else tells you that you lost the case. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, this is an interesting point, too. Norman Miller, who was the one that wrote the articles about this case with Father Pranzo, he was sitting right next to Julian Souzo, okay, who was one of the 2 witnesses that witnessed nothing happening, basically. I mean, that's what he witnessed. And yet the probable cause seemed to stem on those 2 witnesses. It had the most credibility in the judge's mind, which I don't understand. But anyway, well, David, thank you very much for being with us today. You did a great job defending us, and we hope that any of you people out there that need a good lawyer, okay, and any of the things that David mentioned in the beginning, you can give him a call. He can help you out.
Thank you very much.
That's good. Okay, well, so there was the interview with David Grossack. And, if people want to get in touch with him, I don't know if we can put his number up there, Joe. We thought he handled the case very well for us and did a good job. But like he said, judges have to deal with these cases, on their own gut feelings. But we think we had probable cause. Again, we had 3 witnesses in a video, mind you, 3 witnesses in a video, okay? And it didn't happen. I mean, it was a real eye-opening about how the court system does not work as well as you might think. I mean, having all that information, we thought it was a slam dunk again, but it didn't happen. What are you going to do? Okay, now what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do next, okay? Because we didn't have all this information with us at the time, and you're privileged to this information. We have our video of what happened, but we have actually other video, too, that we're going to be showing of this whole event, kind of like the surrounding information that you probably have not seen yet. And the judge didn't see either. We wish he could see this. Maybe he'd change his mind. But it's all going to center around what the truth is, okay? We're going to show you exactly what happened, contradictory statements made by the people who didn't see anything, and just kind of like thinking about this, saying, wow, there's something wrong with this picture here. So the first thing we're going to show you is the attack itself of when Father Pranzo attacked my brother. You probably have seen it before. We're going to play it again because everything's going to fall off of this as we discuss this. Plus, we're going to slow it down so you're going to be able to see it in slow motion a little better. Let's just go to the event that happened at the gang forum when Father Pranzo attacked my brother there. Let's take a look right now.
You don't take pictures in here. Otherwise you get out the door like the last time. You don't take pictures.
Will you do this? Yes or no?
He just assaulted me.
Could you repeat the question? Is it number one or number two?
Number of those arrested for
You don't take pictures in here. Otherwise you get out the door like the last time. You don't take pictures.
Will you do this?
Yes or no? He just assaulted me.
Could you repeat the question? Is it number one or number two?
Number of those arrested for
You don't take pictures.
Okay, now let's just look at a couple things here. See, it's amazing how you notice things after when you witness an event. Right now, what's happening is my brother Joe is actually turned around in his seat with the camera. All right, he's turned around and the camera's pointing to the back because there's a woman there who's going to be speaking. Now, most people aren't noticing what's going on here because they're not paying attention, and that's fine. But now you're going to see in the back here, right about here, you're going to see this individual here, and you've seen him before. He's the fellow that ran this whole event, okay? I forgot what his name is, but he's kind of like the guy in charge, all right? And we're going to show you another picture of him. There he is right there. Okay, again, I apologize, I don't remember his name, but this is when he was at the courthouse. He's the fellow that kind of ran this whole event. All right, now, notice in this picture here, okay, there he is. Notice he's the only one that actually saw Father Pranzo directly attacking my brother. He's looking right at my brother. But notice, in there he is, my brother gets hit by Father Pranzo. Then you're going to see Father Pranzo's head coming in. There he is. He's on top of my brother. Oh, I mean, imagine that. Okay, and there's nobody around him. Father Pranzo, remember, there's nobody there. Okay, all right, there's nobody there. There's nobody around him. Okay, then what's going to happen is, as seconds tick away, this is slow motion now. Then you're going to see Deputy Chief Ken Ferguson come over because he sees what's happening. He's going to pull him off of Joe. All right, and escort him away. That's what happens next. Now. There you go. I mean, that pretty much was what happened there. Okay? Now, and then there's Ken Ferguson talking to Father Pranzo. They're probably saying, hey, what are you doing? You leave these guys alone, whatever. You know? Okay. Now, what I'm gonna talk about here is because in court, all right, this is very critical. In court, we had two witnesses against us, which is kind of unusual because here are witnesses that really didn't see anything, they claim. All right? Deputy Chief Ken Ferguson made a statement that he intercepted Father Pranzo when he was going over to my brother Joe. In other words, he didn't have contact. And then he just turned him away. That was what Ken Ferguson said in court. See, notice, there's nobody there. There's nobody in this video other than Father Pranzo. So where's Ken Ferguson? He's over there somewhere. He's not in the picture yet. Yeah, you'll see him coming over. Well, let's see if you can see him here. You'll see his foot coming over because again, he's going to be coming over once. Okay, now he's on him. But see, the thing is, he ends up pulling Pranzo off of my brother, but the testimony in court, he said he didn't see him on top of my brother Joe. He intercepted him and escorted him away.
He said he touched my shoulder.
Right.
He said he came over and he took him by the shoulder. You don't see him there. He's
Right.
not there.
Well, anyway, we have a problem with the testimony there, okay? Because again, what happened and what the video shows and what the testimony was not what happened. Okay, so that takes care of Ken Ferguson's testimony, all right, of what happened. Now, again, he said he intercepted Father Pranzo before he got to my brother Joe. That's not true because you don't see him. You'd see Ken Ferguson right here now. That's where you'd see him because he came from over here. Don't you get it? He came. You don't see him because he's not there yet. There he is now, though, pulling him off my brother. Okay, and then my brother Joe in the video, you can hear him say he was just assaulted. You can hear him say that too. And plus, in the video also, you can hear Father Pranzo talking.
You don't take pictures.
There's nobody near him, but he's talking, saying you don't take pictures in here. So obviously, folks, do you think we have probable cause? Remember, probable cause is, do you think an event happened here? Do you think an assault happened? Well, we think there definitely was probable cause. I mean, unless you're blind and you can't see this, I don't know. I mean, obviously it happened. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, this is even just as better because the second witness that spoke was Julian Souzo. And Julian Souzo, he made it look like in court, he said he had a clear view of what happened here. Well, let's look at this. See this picture here? All right. Do you see Julian Souzo in that picture? He's not in the front row. He claimed he was up in the front. He had a clear view of this. You don't even see Julian Souzo here because he's being blocked by the police officer who's doing the demo here, who's showing the video, okay? The PowerPoint presentation.
So if you go back to the
And so now we're gonna show you.
We're going to go to the video before that.
Now we're gonna show you the video.
Showing you
Who's sitting where? This is very critical because Julian Souzo said he was sitting up front. There's Pam Richardson. Do you see anybody sitting in front of Pam Richardson? No. And then it's gonna scroll over, okay? And you're not gonna see Julian Souzo because he's behind this police officer. And you'll see my head in the picture there a little bit. And there's Julian now because see, now we just so happen to get a glimpse of him, okay? But he was buried by people. He didn't have a good view, okay? And yet Julian Souzo said under oath that he was up in front and had a clear view of the attack that didn't happen. Basically, he said Joe wasn't attacked. Okay, but he did say under oath that Father Pranzo obstructed Joe's camera, which was interesting. Huh?
What's so interesting about this is he was not in the front row.
Right. So this is the issue that we have here with Julian Souzo's testimony. He said he was in the front. Now, what does that term front mean? Okay, he says he was in the front, okay, but he's not in the front, is he? Right. So, I mean, come on. Something is wrong with this picture here, wouldn't you say? So there you go. You can see Julian Souzo's head there. He is buried. He is buried there because he has that police officer in front of him, okay? And you can't see him.
That's the reporter of the Metro West Daily
News. And there's Norman Miller of the Metro West Daily News, okay? He's right there too. Okay.
You got the policeman's head in the way, right? You got the policeman's head, and now look at you. There's you.
There's me.
You were sitting next to me.
Right.
So how could he see?
Right.
How could he see what happened, right?
Yeah. We definitely have an issue here, and you know, we can't understand you know why no one's catching what's going on here. So there's my head. Again, you can't see Julian. If I can't see Julian, how can Julian see what happened with the Father Pranzo incident clearly? I mean, Pam Richardson had a better shot at seeing what happened than he did.
He was sitting in the front row.
Yeah, he wasn't sitting in the front row, and that's the impression he said in court under oath. He said he was sitting in the front row. So there you go. We have some issues on how this all went down. And the two testimonies that were offered by the defense, again, their testimony is basically saying it didn't happen, okay? They were saying basically it didn't happen, all right? But it did happen. You know, we definitely could see it happen. There's no doubt about it. We have a problem there. Okay, so anyway, that's what the video shows. And then we think that, you know, we had a case here. We think we had a great case. But again, the court felt that there wasn't probable cause. And as my lawyer said, he felt that the court was wrong in their issuing of the denial. And we think so too. And again, you know, all this would never have ever happened if Father Pranzo just admitted he was wrong and he assaulted my brother. But he didn't. He covered it up from the beginning. He lied from the beginning. He kept up with the lie. And the lie basically is being believed by people today. And, you know, you might be saying, well, why are you guys always bringing it up? Well, because we don't think it's right that a priest can get away with lying. Or anybody can. And Father Pranzo, like I said, he might have beat the court right here. He might have fooled them. But he didn't fool God. Because he's going to have to answer for God, to God for his lying. And, you know, Father Pranzo, I tell you what, we're calling you a liar right to your face again. All right? I want you to take me to court. I want you to sue me for calling you a liar. Okay? Really. Please, take me to court and accuse me of lying. Because you're the liar. All right? As simple as that. And all those people in that church that defended him, and Father Crook, and Michael Jacoby, and Representative Richardson, and all those people that showed up defending Father Pranzo, you're no better than him because you're defending a person who lied. Unbelievable to see that this can happen, you know, that there's no justice today in the court systems in some cases, okay? In some cases, there's no justice. So I don't know what to tell you. It's just a real sad situation that happened. You know, we just think that the public outcry of people seeing the truth, seeing what happened, is going to be enough to say to Father Pranzo, you are a liar, Father Pranzo.
Actually,
and you know,
this is the guy. There's only 3 people that probably.
That's right. And this guy here, yeah.
And him.
This guy saw what happened. He wouldn't testify. Okay, he wouldn't testify because he saw what happened. All right. So it just shows you how corrupt these Micah people are, because they will believe the lie before they believe the truth. And that's why I have no respect for these ministries that are supporting Micah, and there's a whole bunch of these churches that are supporting them, because if they're supporting Father Pranzo, then they're supporting someone who lies. All right? I have no respect for any religion that lies. Okay? It doesn't work that way. I don't think Jesus would have handled it this way. That's for sure. So anyway. Okay, well anyway, let's take another short, quick break here. We're going to talk about another video dealing with illegal immigration from the outlook here from the American Legion. Let's go to that video right now.
The National Americanism Commission of the American Legion has a lot to say in its recent study about illegal immigration. It says in part that the impact of the 1986 Immigration Reform and Control Act, which caused a stampede of illegals across our borders, must be reversed by hiring and training a sufficient number of U.S. Border Patrol agents, utilize the latest technology to monitor border activity, employ U.S. military resources along our borders, remove incentives for illegals to remain in the United States with jobs and public assistance, and no amnesty.
For a free booklet on a strategy to address illegal immigration, go to www.legion.org/bulletins. A public service of this station and the American Legion.
Because you have a right to know.
Well, everyone, we're going to actually conclude our show for tonight. We appreciate that you tuned in to us and heard me and what I had to say about those 2 special topics. If you ever want to get in touch with us, there's our phone number, 508-875-2043. I got an email address too, jjrizzo@rcn.com. My website is CCFIILE.com with 2 I's. And definitely go there. A lot of new information I put on that site within the last week. And pretty much, you know, we want to hear from you. I've been hearing from a lot of people calling up, complaining about what's going on in this town. A lot of people aren't happy. So, you know, we're just here to tell you the truth. And hopefully, you know, you can support us in any way you can. Well, anyway, again, I'm Jim Rizoli. This is the weekly show. We'll see you next week.